What's up YouTube? Capital G here. Got a little bit of a treat for you guys to check out. I don't think I'm going to do any pauses because I've done this video like twice. Always ends up being like 14 minutes if I do any pause. Well, I might do a couple of pauses. Who am I kidding? But this is me playing Salamangreats. As a Yu-Gi tuber, obviously I keep up with the game because it's my job. I discuss and I talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Every single day. But I really hadn't been playing much Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever since kind of took a break from streaming. Although this Salamangreat deck has kind of restored my love for the game. Some people might be like, oh Cap, obviously you love Lunalights and Altergeist, and I do, but you know, the Lunalights they're not here, so I can't play them in real life, and I'm not even really interested in playing the meta right now. I feel like our meta is just so fucking cancer, and the fact that like there's all these Altergeist normies that kind of jumped on the bandwagon. I like Altergeist before it was cool, people. I was rocking with them back in circuit break. But anyways, I saw a duel probably about a month ago with Salamangreats, and it really opened my eyes because, you know, I've said before, you guys know that I basically kind of trashed the Salamangreat archetype. I talked about how it was dog shit and shitty anime deck, and it's so weird because now I'm like in love with the deck. By the way, this was like kind of turn 2. I think I just needed my rage to do disruption. Now, the thing about Salamangreats is it's not like a perfect deck, and it definitely has pitfalls. Like going second, I don't think that it's as strong as Lunalights or Cyber Dragons. Going first, there are a lot of decks that are stronger than it. It's like this weird middle ground, and honestly, I'm not even sure if it's a go first or go second deck. You guys are seeing two different builds. If you see Rage and you see me set Rage, which is this card, at best, it's kind of like a Fire Lake on crack. At worst, it's kind of like a Regeki break that can activate your Salamangreat monsters. The thing about it is, like, if you go first, you kind of want to have a hand trap plus Rage, disrupt your opponent with Rage, and then just, you know, hopefully the hand trap can cover everything else. Rage does not target, by the way, if you have a Salamangreat monster that was summoned using another copy of itself. My Sunlight Wolf was. A lot of times you guys will see me summon the same Link monster that I have already on the field. It's because you're trying to get the bonus effects of those Link monsters. That's the way that the archetype works, because, you know, it's fucking anime. This duel, this is weird, right? Because this is the downside of playing it as a go second deck. If you go first, like my opponent is playing Cyber Dragons. He forced me to go first, right? Then you basically don't have like any great plays. You just kind of like wall up. Sometimes you'll go for your MX Saber Invoker. You'll try to make it so that you have like Falco on the field so that you can search your Rhoda again. But you don't have any type of like real stun if you don't have a hand trap and you go first. Now I do have Effect Veiler, but you know, that's just me. That's just the luck of the draw. Like that's not my deck actually doing it. If you have Rage and you play kind of a go second build, you do have the ability to disrupt your opponent. Now I might throw one Rage in my go second build, but I'm still not sure at this point exactly how the deck should be. I use my protection from my Link 1, which was nice because it allows me to keep my Gazelle in the field, and I use my Foxy. This is the best normal summon in the deck, and this is like this is the absolute beautiful cheese right here. Whenever you go back to back Signet Fusion and then Fusion of Fire, you are almost going, like, you can one shot literally any monster in Yu-Gi-Oh right now because my Chimera is 50-50 attack, but it also makes his monster 0 and it doubles its attack. So I just one-shot him through his 2400 attack Mega Fleet Dragon. Let's see what else is going to happen. One cool thing about the deck is going second, there are a lot of OTKs that use a bunch of, like, you know how there are so many of these shitty, like my opponent just passed, right? He didn't do anything, didn't really do anything. And here's the cool thing, right? So just off of this normal summon, I have already won the game. Now I did normal summon I did special summon my Foul, which is basically a Kaze Takage, and then I ended up hitting Mirror off the top of, or off the effect of Foxy. If you don't know, Foxy is kind of like Dark Magic Circle, excavate the top 3, and you get to get whatever Salamangreat card that you reveal. This right here, guys, is an OTK. I'm gonna show you how. It's gonna be really simple too. You go into your first Link, he got baited. I'm like, okay, I didn't even want the search anyways. That's just to get any ogres or anything out of the way, basically, to do that. But you're going to go into Update Jammer. You go into Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker brings back your Update Jammer, and if you use Update Jammer to summon Transcode Talker can attack twice. Now I know you see that the Stallions over here, my MX Saber Invoker and all this stuff, but these two monsters, if you summon them and they're co-linked, it is 8100 damage. And the thing is, there are a lot of these kind of, I call them shitty Cyber support cards that no one cares about, none of us run, because it's fucking Cybers. Like, no one runs Cybers, but because this deck just happens to be Cybers, this deck can use so many of these shitty cards. Well, they're not even really shitty. It's just, there aren't any real like Cybers archetypes except Salamangreats. I mean, I don't think Playmaker plays an archetype. I think that he just plays a bunch of like random ass Cyberse cards, but Salamangreat are an actual archetype and they just happen to be Cyberse. Now this is an OTK through this is an OTK through a face down monster, but this did require me to run Security Dragon. This entire deck, as I'm running it right now, is TCG legal, except Security Dragon. Now, when I say TCG legal, I mean that, like, we know that the Salamangreat structure that comes out in February, and we know that Savage Strike, where, like, Update Jammer comes from, that comes out in Savage Strike. But all of these other cards, like, we know when we're getting them. They're just not in the TCG right now. I believe Security Dragon is, like, the only card where I might take it out of my deck because I have no idea when we're getting it. So another duel where my opponent does leave himself open, and you know, at first I didn't know about these kind of Cyberse OTKs. This card was bugged, by the way, on YGO Pro. For the first 2 days that I played this card, it wouldn't let me use the effect, but doesn't matter. Actually, I think I might not go for, yeah, this is just going to be kind of like a Cyberse type OTK. If you use this card right here, your MX Saber Invoker, you cannot activate monsters for the rest of the turn or monster effects except fire monsters. It's just like Invoker, but it's like a balanced Invoker, which kind of sucks. But you know, it's definitely an amazing card. This duel is against Thunder Dragons, or it's like a Thunder Dragon. Is it just pure Thunder? No, Dinosaur Thunder Dragons. This is like what Blair Hunter topped with at the YCS in Pasadena. Again, if you can go for Phalanx and you can get your opponent to use a disruption and they have an open board, just go for Update Jammer, Transcode Talker, or it's just, you know, 2-card OTK. It's 8100 damage, and a lot of people, I think, will even let these plays go through because they don't know what these cards do. Like, I'm not even talking about the Salamander. I'm talking about like these Cyberse Link monsters. Like, no one knows what these cards. People know what Decode Talker does because that's the only talker monster that we actually use in the meta. But the rest of the talkers, like even Xcode Talker, and that's a fucking cover card of a booster stuff. Like, no one knows what these cards do. At this point, this duel, it's against Cyframes. I played this one a little slower because he had 3 back row, and I was like, oh, I wasn't really comfortable just going Heat Leo into 3 back row, but I get my Rhoda. Foxy's gonna get me hopefully another, oh no, I get Gamut, so that kind of sucked. And I knew I was gonna get Omega here, which really sucked. I kind of wanted to put my important cards on the board first, and I was trying to get him to pick the Effect Veiler out of my hand because obviously Veiler's not good in this matchup anyways, so if I could get him to use my Veiler, I would be kind of happy. That's the reason that I did use my Spiny from my hand there, which it wasn't really like a great play, but it doesn't matter. This was a desperate play, but necessary. So what I did was I targeted his Omega using Stallion. If you use Stallion to summon a Salamangreat Link monster, Stallion is the Invoker, keep in mind. Then you get the Bouncer card from your opponent's field to their hand. So I'm forcing his Omega out because I'm trying to punch for some damage, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to kill him at this point. So at this point, I'm just trying to punch through for damage, and I'm trying to actually recover my resources. You can see I add Foxy and my Rhoda back to my hand. I get rid of his back row with my copy of Heat Leo, and I actually feel pretty comfortable. Now, the interesting thing was, because I didn't know his hand, I didn't want to potentially deal with beta or more gammas and shit, so I actually wanted to force him to keep this on the field. Now, I think that he wanted to get it off the field, but I thought it's just easier to OTK you through your Omega because you can't summon other monsters if Omega's on the field, so I'm going to summon another copy of Heat Leo. Now I can use the effect where I can make Heat Leo equivalent to one of my monsters in the graveyard. I pick Effect Veiler, so it's 0 attack. That's pretty fun, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm trying to go for Violet Chimera here. I go for Clock Spartai, another one of those shitty Link monsters no one knows about. I use my my Heat Leo, and I'm able to one-shot him. Even though he did use Circuit's effect to kind of like, you know, baby honest his monster, doesn't matter. I still do 8,000 damage. GG, no re. And then this final duel, and I wonder how my time is looking right now. Oh, perfect. Under 9 minutes. Perfect. We'll be able to show the deck profile and still get a spicy 10-minute video for that ad revenue. This last duel is against it's a mirror match, and if you don't know anything about the Salamangreat mirror match, is, oh my god, this card is just nuts. This is actually a god card in the mirror match. Now this card, Super Poly, is generally good in for why do I keep saying Cyframes? It's good for Salamangreats in general because it allows you to use your opponent's Link monster and then a Salamangreat monster that you have. Plus, you can use it during the battle phase, which is nice. But when my opponent does this, when my opponent leaves a Salamangreat monster and a Link monster, oh my god, I was licking my chops. I was like, bro, you are not getting another turn. I always quote my man Kaito from Arc V, there is no next turn. Oh, there was zero chance that this guy was gonna survive that because I can super poly just using his monsters alone. I'm not copying what he's doing, but a lot of these plays just kind of make sense. Heat Leo into Heat Leo. I use super poly, and I am gonna bring back my own Heat Leo, and the board is pretty damn epic. I did use my second Heat Leo to make my my MX Saber Invoker gain 2300 attack, or excuse me, to be 2300 attack. I wish it made the monster gain it. Oh my god, that'd be so good. But basically, I'm copying the stats of Heat Leo. Not that big of a deal, but I am going to use Will of the Salamangreats to reborn it. But he scooped at that point. He knew I already had game on board, and I was going to summon my copy of Heat Leo. You know, if he somehow had like Wabaku or something, he could easily OTK me with Super Poly. That's just even with what's it called? Even by activating Fusion of Fire, he could almost certainly OTK me. That's just how this mirror match is. It's very similar to like Black Wings in 2009 with Sirocco, where Sirocco was like so nuts because it gains the attack of all face-up Blackwing monsters on the field. This is my current build of Salamangreats. I'm still a little iffy on Beat Bison, but the card was bugged. Maybe hopefully they fixed it now and I can get a better understanding, because the deck doesn't really have monster removal and it deals with field spells too. Like somebody got Necro Valley on me one game and it literally beat my entire deck. I didn't have any outs, but you know, Beat Bison does negate your opponent's cards potentially, and it doesn't target, so that can kind of be helpful against monsters that can't be destroyed by battle and just, you know, stuff like that. I have I'm undecided on Salamangreat Rage. I think I'm probably just going to keep testing this deck over the next couple of weeks to see again if I like going first or if I like going second better. Extra deck, the only card I'll probably take out is Security Dragon, maybe Borosword Dragon. That might sound crazy, but honestly, the cards that I almost never summon are Borosword Dragon and Security Dragon. Like, I've used Borosword Dragon against like Time Lords and other stuff, but in general, not really necessary. And considering you can't use it after you use Stallion, that's the biggest problem with Borosword Dragon. Like, those OTKs that you usually do, you can't do them with Salamangreat, right? So I think even Borolo Dragon might be a little better just because of the targeting protection. People don't really use General Destruction. No one runs Regeki and Torrential and shit like that anymore. But you know, this is the deck that I'm playing right now and I'm having a whole lot of fun. If you guys are looking for kind of a low tier 2-ish type deck that is a lot of fun, that's a blast to play, check out Salamangreats. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, turn on that notification bell for daily videos, and check out these other videos you know you'll enjoy. Oh man, 12 minutes and I didn't even stall.